So, how is it already April? How has a year already gone by from the time I started this channel? I can barely believe it myself. I was trying to pull up on this one too. Excellent. Excellent. Hey, Keely, how are you? How are you? Hello, squirrel on a fence. Okay, great. I'm really glad that the lighting looks good. Last time I sat intentionally in the shade, and the webcam works differently than the phone, and it was really bright behind me, and it turned out that you could really tell that I was in the shade. The webcam doesn't make up for that like it does when I'm recording on the phone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, let's see. We said hello to Stephen and Keely and Squirrel on a Fence. So glad to see you here. Fantastic. I'm glad that I am loud and clear. I could have done this in the house, but it wouldn't be Michelle in the meadow. It would be Michelle at the dining table, and that just doesn't quite feel the same to me. So I like that I can do this outside. Of course, I want to do more of these, but I haven't quite figured out the way to get into a rhythm for that. So if you guys have suggestions about days of the weeks, or times that might be a better time for us to have a little live chat together a little more often, I would love to hear that. But really, I have to tell you, I am so grateful for you all. I am so grateful for you all because you have made this an incredibly welcoming experience for me. And this channel, Michelle in the Meadow, is a year old today. And I just can hardly believe it, frankly. I really, it blows my mind. And so I am super grateful. I'm much further along than I expected to be. I set one goal. Once things started rolling along, I set one goal, and that was to get 100 videos up in my first year, which I did a few days ago. I've kind of had a sprint here right at the end trying to get content up because I wanted to meet that goal so badly, but I also wanted to provide good content. And so it's easy to put out a lot of crappy content. I really don't want to do that. I really do try hard to make sure that it's fun and engaging and informative. So thank you guys for supporting that. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for commenting. And thank you for being a part of this community that we have here. We got some new folks that popped in too. Karen, hey, Karen from Enjoy Life Australia. And we've got, now wait a minute, Karen, it's very early in the morning for you, I suppose. Thank you so much, Kay. Glad to see you here. Jane, glad to see you here as well. Thank you very much. Yes, thought I would put on a little better than just a plain t-shirt today, but outside, this is just my happy place. I would be out here even more if my day mostly would allow it. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Kay. I appreciate that. Thank you, Stephen G. Habitual Hobbies. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here as well. It has been a lot of fun this year. If you had told me a year ago that I would be having this much fun, I might not have believed you. I wanted the channel, I wanted to do it, and I hesitated for a long time. And what you all may not know is that I actually uploaded some of my very first YouTube videos in 2004. I know, 2004. And I was having fun on some different little exercise machines, or it was a trike. And I was having some fun on that and making a few videos about that. But the trolls were just nasty. There's just no better way to put it. The trolls were nasty. And I let them run me away from my channel because I wasn't grown up enough 20 years ago to deal with that. And so now I just, whatever. Please comment on my videos. That helps increase engagement. By all means, help yourself, whatever, but 20 years ago, I didn't quite feel that same way. I took it all a lot more personally. So I'm so glad to be here. Oh, we've got some things scrolling on down here for me. So hello, Elizabeth B. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Doug Bill Beaver. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eastport, Maine. All right. All right. Plant Obsessed. Hello, hello, and happy anniversary to me. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, Habitual Hobbies. I can't believe it either. I can't believe I've been here doing this for a year, but I'm having a great time. And I think, and I hope that you all appreciate that I just tell it like it is for what I'm doing. And a lot of people have commented, like, a lot of the stuff that I'm trying, I'm just trying. And I don't always have a plan. I mean, I've got a sort of a running plan in my head, but I don't always have a plan for the garden because I don't know, because it's an experiment. I haven't done most of this before. Before we moved to this property, I had only gardened for single seasons. Once I had a little garden over behind my mother-in-law's house, and then once I had a little patio garden. And so other than that, I had done no other successful gardening, nor had I ever tried outside of a single season. So being here on this property, when we had a chance to buy this, we fell in love. And in fact, funny story, this house is in just a really older neighborhood, and we were driving by and we ended up putting an offer on the house, and they wanted to know how I would feel if I didn't get the house. And I was like, yeah, it's not really a big deal. And then we didn't get the house, and I was heartbroken briefly. And the realtor was like, but you said you wouldn't really care. Yeah, the house I really don't care about, but it happens to be on this piece of property that I have already fallen in love with. And so having the ability to back up to the meadow here, it's a nice square property. Some folks will ask about the size of the property, but it's almost a square 1/4 acre property. And I'm going to do another video about it. I think I'm going to walk around and kind of demonstrate how it all looks. But basically, I'm gardening on the perimeters of the property for the most part. And so that's why I'm able to fit some things in. It's on a pretty good slope, harder to tell on video, but that back behind me, like where the wood pile is over there, there's a black tarp. That's a wood pile. At elevation wise, that's about 3 feet lower than where I am here. And so there's a nice slope, which is why we don't have anything planted in the immediate yard, because everything is on that slope. And it's even more sloped really than the sides in some ways, because they mounded the house. And so it's an interesting layout. So we've built things here for that reason. Someone asked, what is a troll? Troll are people who write nasty things for the sake of writing nasty things on your videos. And so I don't abide the trolls anymore. Whatever. I don't have time. I'm busy having fun. All right. Fantastic. Yeah, that's right. I'll let you guys answer that question. You did a better job. And squirrel on a fence, congratulations on your retirement. And absolutely, experimentation is the key, because at the end of the day, you don't need to garden like me. You don't need to garden like Jess. You don't need to garden like James. You don't need to garden like Mark. You need to garden like you on your property, in your conditions, with your budget and your sunshine and your rain, because your property is going to be different than my property. We might even be in the same zone. Heck, we could be neighbors. My property is very different than my neighbor's property next door. They have lots and lots of trees right up to the house, so they don't have a whole lot of sunshine in their backyard. I have lots of sunshine in my backyard. So even moving one property over, it's completely different experience. And so garden like yourself, experiment for yourself, start from seeds, because that's a really cheap way to do it. So it's really cool. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is the best thing to do, is to just try it for yourself. And you can start small. You can start small. I mean, a packet of seeds not super cheap anymore, but still fairly cheap. We were looking at some, well, I think it's eggplant. I've got them on the counter in there. I'm going to start some eggplant soon. And my sweet mother-in-law, who usually I just call mom, but my sweet mother-in-law mom, she was like, well, I don't know. I don't want to spend $5 for a packet of seeds. And I'm like, well, but there's 10 seeds in here. And maybe we got a shot at growing 5 plants from these 10 seeds. And if each plant gives us 10 cucumbers, well, we've more than made our money back. And we had a little fun doing it too. So it is one of those funny things when you start thinking about all the costs. Sorry, there's a table there. I have to be careful. All the cost and involved with gardening, but there are so many ways to do it on a budget. I know I invested in some of these garden beds and some of these tools, but before I had the garden beds and the tools, we had logs for our first garden beds here and cloth bags. And so, it's just a matter of an evolution. And I think we all go through that. I'm going to have a sip of water here and read some of these comments. Habitual hobbies. That's fantastic. She is doing carrots and trying to transplant them and prick them out to order to transplant them. I think that Charles Dowding does that. I think he pricks out all of his vegetables. And so I have a video coming up. I hate to get up and leave the camera, but I want to show you guys something. 1 second, don't go away. I want to show you this. Because I think you guys will think this is cute. So this is a dragon fruit that we bought for Valentine's. And my goal in the next couple of weeks is to prick these out. So I plan to take them, and I have some miniature landscaping bags. And so even something like this, I'm going to give it a shot, because what's the worst thing that happens? I get some practice pricking out a plant. I get some practice to see what a dragon fruit looks like growing up. It could be a terrible variety. I may get it grown and decide I absolutely hate it. Oh well. It looks like it'll be a fun project. It should make a pretty fun video. So let's do it. Let's have some fun with it. Let's have some fun with it. So, oh, okay. So Habitual Habit says that she has tried that. She has seen him do that with the chat. So you should absolutely try that. And you absolutely can get seeds for cheap. The one interesting thing to me about paying attention to the price of seeds is pay attention to the contents of the envelope. They do have, especially if you aren't trying to grow a big garden, even at Dollar Tree, they had some that were 4 packs for $1.25 when we were in there last week. It's not a big, thick packet of seeds, but if you're trying to just put a few things in the ground, $1.25 for 4 packets, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I think that's okay. I have a guest flying past me here, a little dragonfly. So Jane said, this has been my first year with seeds since I was a kid. There's nothing more thrilling than watching those little green dots come popping through. Oh, it is so true. It is so true. Like, you plant them an hour later. Did you sprout? Did you sprout? Did you sprout? Yeah, I do that. I do that too. Or if you guys watched the garden tour from yesterday, I set them out on a garden bed randomly and completely forget about them and then totally screw it up. So, there's that also. The okra that I planted, last year, it was over in that garden bed from here, the cedar garden bed. At the end of the beginning of this season, I sat and I shucked all the oysters. I shucked open or broke open the okra pods and saved all of the seed. And I set the seeds in a little bucket, and I left them on the patio. And then it rained, and I forgot that they were in a bucket on the patio. And so the next day, it was a hot mess. And so it became a hot mess express experiment. And I put together some seedling trays very hurriedly. I forgot to pack the seedlings down because I was being in a hurry instead of taking my time. And so then when I went to water them in a couple of days later, the soils just dropped in the little seedling trays because I had not packed the soil in. My fault, my bad. So then I went around. Now they've been in there for a few days. They've already been wet down, and I crushed all these baby seedlings trying to pack the dirt down more. So, oh well. I think out of the 96 I planted, 5 came up. So not the best odds. Not the best odds, but it's A-okay. So someone said they have never seen such a tiny, vigorous little dragon fruit like that. Yes, this was a Valentine's display they had at CVS. I think we're at CVS. And so we bought it there, just thinking it would be really cute. And it's in its own little pot inside. This is just a little cute little planter. And so what I'll do is I will prick those out. But it is a cute little, even if I just wanted to leave it as a little house plant, I could. The one thing that I did do, and I'll talk about this when I make the video, is we hardened this off in advance. So we start, and actually I see some more little ones popping up down there. we started bringing this outside just as if it was a little seedling, because look, it's been growing indoors. It wasn't green and vibrant like this at first. It was a very light, pale green. You could tell it needed sun. And so we would bring it in and out and in and out every day for a couple of weeks. And then we just started leaving it in the backside of the patio so it would get the morning sun. And now I'm going to start leaving it out in the middle here so it can get more sun each day. So we've tried to make it more vigorous before trying to transplant it out. So, oh, it definitely needs a bigger container. And so I'm really going to, but I'm planning to take it out and put each one in its own little like bag. I have these little landscaper bags that I picked up. And so I've got a little tiny shovel. I'm going to fill them in. Maybe I can find one of my young nieces or nephews to come and help fill little tiny bags, because that would be work for little tiny hands. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, that is a ton of plants. If I had to guess, there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, maybe 50. Maybe 50 in here. So that'll be fun. It'll be fun, and we enjoy dragon fruit. And if we grow them up, and I mean, we probably, I don't know if we'll end up getting them all up to some height, but if we grow them up and we set them out and they turn out to make terrible dragon fruit, well, we just had some fun with it. That's one of the joys of being outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the background noise that's happening here, but there's traffic down the street. It looks like I live in this quiet, idyllic, peaceful suburban neighborhood. And most of the time I am, but I'm not really that far from a major roadway and from a highway and from a railroad. And so sometimes I can hear all these crazy things happening around me. So, Jane said, everything becomes a potential planting device. Absolutely. Sour cream containers, yogurt containers, strawberry cartons, egg cartons, all those things. In fact, we buy yogurt that's in a flat container, which is still perfectly fine. And so I've been saving those on the kitchen counter for some other seed starting to try it out. Because really, if you guys aren't pricking out your seeds and you aren't comfortable doing that yet, don't sweat. But in time, you may want to practice that, because you save a whole lot of space. So you can start, 20 or 30 seedlings in a cup that's that big around. And then once they get tall enough, prick them out. I happen to use a wooden chopstick to do that. There are other tools to do that, and prick them out. And then you can transplant them into your seedling trays. And you're going to go a lot further. Then you don't have a 6-pack of seedlings trays sitting there waiting for 4 seeds to come up when only 2 came up. So it's very good. Very good. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. So seed saving. Oh, Karen does seed saving. Thank you very much, Karen. That's a good thing to talk about. I have a little place on the kitchen counter, much to my family's dismay. There's always some kind of a seed there that I've pulled out of something. So I'll take a bell pepper apart and I'll just lay the little head on the counter. Mom gave me, she has a loquat, and I've started growing some loquat over here. I came home with a handful of loquat seeds, and so we'll start those. I'm always looking for ways to save money in the garden and for budget in the garden. And so it really is a good thing for me to sort of think about that, right? And you too, really, because there are so many ways. I propagate basil and mint that we buy at the Asian grocery store. I am more than happy to take cuttings from Mom. In fact, she transplanted and gave me some mint to put down. I don't do any prop lifting. I think that's wrong and not an ethical thing to do. And if you don't know what it is, you can look it up in another place. We're not going to talk about it. I would never do that. But I will talk to my neighbors about taking cuttings off of things that they have. In fact, I did go down. If you watched yesterday, I said I was going to go down and talk to my mulberry neighbor. And there were no mulberries within reach that were ripe yesterday. So I'm going to go back down tomorrow morning and see if any of them have ripened up. And I can taste what the mulberries taste like before I take a cutting and try to make the tree. Plant Obsessed, thank you so much for that super thanks. I appreciate that. You are my first official gift on this channel. So thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Just made me so happy. That's so sweet. That is so very sweet. That is so very sweet. What other questions can I answer for you all today? Do you have any questions, anything you'd like me to talk about? I just really wanted to get in here and say thank you to you for making this year possible. All right. Well, it is, it's beautiful out here today. It's been one of those days where the temperature's just been perfect. We got a lot done around the garden this weekend. Never as much as I want to do, but the interesting thing about doing a garden and YouTube combination is everything takes longer. Everything takes longer because I think, boy, if I'm going to do that, I should grab the camera so I can set up for a shot just in case something happens here that might be interesting. And so I do find myself, and I think for the other folks who have gardening channels, I know a few folks are on here, Plant Obsessed and Habitual Hobbies and Enjoy Life Australia. And I think I saw a couple of other channels. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, I just need to run out and, oh no, let me grab the camera and then I can run out and do whatever it is today. I am getting better at that. Oh, Keely, thank you so very much. That is very kind of you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the super thanks. So thank you very much. So Plant Obsessed said, have I thought about adding mushrooms to the meadow? I'm looking into it this year. So we have a lot of mushrooms that grow out there that are not something I know that I would eat or not eat. And because we have so much of that growing, I probably would not do it at least back in the meadow. I actually think of that back there as the meadow, though, even though technically I know it's not really a meadow, it's shady and all that stuff, but it makes me feel good to call it the meadow. But we have bought in the past one of those root boxes where you grow your own mushrooms, and we let it go bad. And so that was a mistake. So I may try it in the future. I think we cook with mushrooms in some of the cooking that we do. I kind of want to try with the oyster mushroom. So if you have any tips on growing mushrooms or how I might do it in a way, I think I would they need to be somewhere damp and shady. So that might be perfect, but I do worry that I would end up with some kind of a fungi that's not an edible fungi. So I welcome any guidance or thoughts on that at all. Let's see. Do you have any plans to add any more birdies or Vigo beds? Yes. In fact, there will be a video coming out about that. Vigo and Birdies have both sent me a new bed for the season because I wanted to make an updated video sharing my experience that has happened over the past year. I'm going to do a little better head-to-head comparison, answering a lot of the questions that you all have asked. So there are 2 more beds planned for over here. There's another forever garden bed that's going up front. And then I have, I think, 2 more Vigo beds to assemble and put together as well. So lots of raised beds this season. I've already made arrangements for my soil to go into them. We have a great company that's just in the big city, man in overalls, and they bring out this delicious soil. It'll be a different version than I used before, but part of their service is to deliver it right to your garden bed. So they don't just dump it on your driveway. And so I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. Let's see. Oh, let's see here. All right. And let's see here. Here in Australia, Karen says, here in Australia, I have the opposite seasons to you, but my husband is always hearing I saw on one of Michelle's videos. That's so funny. Well, it's good because like we can help each other, and the stuff I'm doing now, you can start thinking about for 6 months from now. So that's actually pretty good because you can plan ahead for the things that you need to do for sure. I love that. Keely said, she's recently failed at one of those mushroom kits and got another one to try. Hey, you know what? It is all about that trying and failing. I mean, if you're, I think I saw Jess had a video the other day. You're going to fail. You are going to fail. You're going to forget. You're not going to water. You do all kind of things. Oh, Michael, thank you very much for that super thanks. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. There is a channel called North Spore. The king mushroom is apparently easy to tell apart from the wilds. Okay, that's very good to know. I will check out North Spore because we do enjoy having mushrooms in the things that we eat. We use them in soups. I am not the grand cook around here. I use two kinds of mushrooms, but the rest of my family uses mushrooms. And so my job is to get dirty and grow food, and other people help make it taste better than I can. Though it's really, if you're careful, when you're cooking with fresh ingredients, it's a lot easier to make something awfully delicious when you start with something wonderful that grew in your own yard. Jane said, thanks to you, Michelle, you have re-sparked my love of the garden. Plus, you have a very soothing voice about you. You're very therapeutic. Jane, thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I wish I could. Now I'm speechless, but thank you very much, Jane. I am glad that it can. It makes me very happy to know that. I think it's obvious, but I really, truly do enjoy working in the garden. And I actually plan, my work days around the garden as often as I can. And so many times I'll be at my desk working well before sunup so that I can come out into the garden and work for a couple of hours while it's nice and cool and it's early in the morning. And then as the sun comes up, get back to work. And so I'm glad I'm blessed to have a job where I can have my day flexible in that way. And so that works really well for me. So as often as I can, especially as we're in this growing season now, I am very likely in the garden 4 to 5 mornings a week doing some kind of project. And so it's very exciting, which is why you need that high quality sunscreen and drink plenty of water. So let's see. All right, we got some other tips here. Let's see. Oh, fantastic. Oh, thank you, Michael. We love you and Kay too. Thank you so much for watching. Sunny and warm in Tucson, Arizona. Fantastic. Oh, sunny and warm. That's great. It has been it's really nice. I don't know what the temperature is here right now. If I had to guess, let me see if I'm right. If I had to guess, I would say it's about 70 right now here out front where I'm at. It says that it feels like 80, but this does not feel like 80. This feels like really comfortable right now here. So I think that's okay. Jane, thank you for the hearts. A squirrel on a fence. I've got my eye on a birdie's bed, extra tall, round. I'm saving to buy a couple in the fall. Fantastic. I have been very happy. I've been happy with the customer service. I've been happy in talking to the people that I deal with there. And I am very grateful for all of you who go through and click my links to these, because that helps support the channel. That helps me fund being able to do the types of videos that I do as well. So thank you. I appreciate you mentioning that. And I appreciate you all clicking on the links when I share something, because that does, again, it helps me help you help me. One of those kind of things. So thank you. So Habitual Hobby says, do I recommend any specific brands of compost that are sold at box stores? I don't. I mean, I most recently bought some Whitney Farms, and I do buy some cow manure, and I buy them. We have the local Ace has some mushroom compost that they get in from somewhere, and I tend to buy those from time to time. I have been a little gun shy. This is just, we all saw the videos last season from a lot of gardeners who had gotten some kind of a compost that had a weed killing component as part of the compost, and their plants were dying. And so I have been really gun shy about buying things from the big box store because I just don't know. And so I buy from a local company now. So, and they bring out their magic mix and do their thing. And I haven't bought this one before, but I have friends who have used their mix and they've been incredibly happy. But I would say if you have to buy some local, and I saw Jess from Roots and Refuge talk about this, and I think that our friend over at Geeky Gardens also talked about this. If you have to buy some compost and you're not sure, or whatever the garden soil you have, the very best thing you can do is test it first. Give yourself a little bit of time and test that batch. And I think they said to plant beans. And so you maybe plant, 12 beans, even if you just put them in a prick out cup, right? Or maybe you make a little seedling tray and you put the beans in there and let them sprout and grow up for a couple of weeks. And if they're A-OK and they aren't yellowing and problems, you've probably gotten some compost that's A-OK. But if your beans sprout up and they start dying pretty quickly, it's possible it has some contamination there. I am not an expert on this. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just know that I kind of got scared when all these other big YouTubers were talking about it. And so I've been much more careful about what I've been buying and what I've been thinking about for my yard. Eventually, I hope to be making enough compost on my own property that I don't have to worry about that. In the far corner over my left shoulder, you can probably see a little wooden gate looking thing. It's just past all the logs. And that is my compost bin that I have been working on or letting nature work on. I just throw stuff over the fence. I'm not very good at doing all the turning stuff yet. But that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm working on that as well. So let me scroll back up here. I do have a master chef in my house. I do. My wife is a very good cook, very good taste. Knows how to turn something very simple into something very, very delicious. So I do have that blessing. Someone else, Jay Butters too. Hey, Jay Butters, glad to see you here. Google Mushroom Mountain. They have some great tutorials and they sell them. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Here's a little tip from Keeley. This is fabric shopping bags can be used as fabric planters. So if you have extra bags and you want to try that fabric, oh, absolutely. There was a YouTuber, I think he has passed away now. I think it was Larry, who used to do fabric bags with a wicking cup out of the bottom of the bags, and he set the whole thing down in the gutter. Mom showed me this channel. It was a very fascinating channel. So basically made wicking bags with a little cup on top of a gutter. It was really cool. Thank you on the Mushroom Adventures. I will be sure to let you know. There's all kind of fungi growing out here in the meadow. Of course, all behind me, for those who don't know or hadn't seen it, I guess it's now a year and a half ago, they had some trees taken down next door. And we had the tree guy just bring his chipper to the back and blow the chipped wood across the back in the meadow there. And it's been really good for that back there. It's helped to hold in the bank more. The ground is not washing away quite as much. And so it was a good thing to do that. We used as much as we could around the garden. Grass and stuff is starting to grow into the wood chips now. I don't care. It's just making a better ecosphere out there. So I've grown my best mushrooms when I wasn't even trying. That seems like that happens too. My very best mint is over here. Can't eat it. It's in toxic soil because it's right here next to, toxic might be an overstatement, but the ground was sprayed with termiticide when they laid our concrete patio here. And the indication was not to eat anything out of that soil for 5 years, within 5 feet of that. And it just happened to be that some mint grew there. And so it's the most beautiful plant ever that I can't eat. Thank you so much, Squirrel on the Fence, for using that link. I do appreciate that. Oh, thank you. A few people have said that they'd be more than happy to use my link. I appreciate that as well. Thank you so much. 74 in Nashville. Hey, do that for me. Tell me where you're from in the comments. We've got Nashville. We've got Tucson. I think we've got a New Jersey up there. South Jersey. It's in the 40s in Jersey. Oh my gosh. Yes. So Habitual Hobby said, yes, Jess had compost troubles last year. It was very sad. It was very sad. Um, very sad. Let's see. Fans. No, she does not have a cooking channel. She does not want to be on YouTube. The fact that she let me even show her hands while she was cooking today was pretty funny. But I think of her as a home chef. Michael's right. She's just got this real taste for it, but no interest in being on the channel at all. And so it's kind of funny, but that's her thing. And that's okay. That's a-okay. Awesome. Hey, Metal Hendrix, welcome back. Welcome back. South of the southern border of Missouri, 71 degrees, Ocala, Florida. That's just right down the road. Hello, Tammy from Ocala. 62 degrees in central Illinois for Plant Obsessed. Indiana, Stephen, Squirrel on the Fence is in Valdosta, Georgia. Hey, Squirrel on the Fence, I got my last batch of worms out of that area from Mimi's Worms, thanks to Plant Obsessed. And while I am an affiliate for Uncle Jim's Worm Farm, it was really nice to be able to buy worms that are, 100 miles or so down the road. And so they didn't have to travel as far, and that was kind of exciting. So if you don't know about Mimi's, MEMES Worms, you could check them out as well. We have Minnesota. Yes, Minnesota's in the house. Mid 50s in Indiana. 46 in Michigan. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Jupiter, Florida, another Floridian. You're already having the super hot weather down there. It has been the strangest weather. And I'm assuming it's everywhere. I mean, I know they're having weird storms in California. We have had unseasonably hot weather, followed by unseasonably cold weather, followed by crazy hot weather. And so it has just been really, really well. So Keely said, we appreciate your wife letting us take a peek over her shoulder to watch the stir fry happen. Thank you, Mrs. Michelle. So it's funny, from where I'm sitting, she's watching the live from inside the house. I can see her there. So in a second, she'll probably look up because she knows I'm talking about her. So it'll be pretty funny to see in a second. All fantastic. Mimi's is also a woman-owned business. Fantastic. Yeah, I thought that's excellent. I want to support, I love supporting small business. I am especially fond of supporting women-owned businesses because it's important. It's important. Male-owned businesses aren't less important. It's just that there's something really great for me being able to support a woman-owned business because, in case you guys don't know, sometimes it's harder to be a woman and do these things. Sometimes it is. All right. Hey, Nerdy Girl 19. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It is definitely a process for making compost. I think I'm trying to follow that conversation there. So Keely said they had 70s and now 40s in South Jersey. Oh my goodness. Well, so tell me, for those of you who are on the live now, obviously this isn't a terrible time for me to go live, but I'm really thinking about going live more frequently. I don't know if I can commit to an every week kind of a live, but I at least maybe would like to, for the next few months, start going live at least once a month and then maybe ease myself into something more regularly. I just have to take account for my schedule and life and the world, right? And everything that's going on. But so if you have any suggestions about a date or a time or a day of the week that's better, or a time of the day you think might be better, I would love to hear about that in the comments. Metal Hendrix, thank you very much for that super thanks. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. You guys are super great. This is awesome. A few months ago, they asked if I wanted to turn all these little features. And I just turned them on because they said I could. I haven't really thought much about them again. So I'm grateful that you guys are finding those little buttons and y'all know about these things. So, once a month, Keely says once a month is good for starting live streams. Yep. That's just it. Well, and the nice thing is, by the way, if you're watching this not live and you're on the replay, feel free to put in #replay in the comments as well, so we know that you stopped by. I should have said that back at the beginning. But Sunday evening is kind of a good time to hang out. I think it feels like a pretty good time of day, and even this time of day, it's not too bad. Behind me, I can see that it's starting to get a little pixelated now because the light is beginning to give. So I'll have to I would figure that part out, but I really like being outside. Um, she said, don't turn on, Keely recommends don't turning on the Nightbot feature. Okay, I'm glad to know. I don't even know what that is. I've seen it. It's really funny to me. I used to think I was a fairly technical person, but all at once there are all these features and things that I'm just like, oh, oi. So that's good to know. I'll keep an eye out for that as well. But I really just wanted to go live today. I did not expect to be going 40 minutes, but I just wanted to say thank you. If you have any other questions before we wrap up, feel free to put them down in the chat. I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you for the super thanks today. Thank you for the questions and the engagement. I am honored to be on this journey with you. Thank you for allowing me to be myself and to be authentic. And when I'm doing something kind of stupid in the garden, that you let me share that with you, because we're all just learning here. And I really want to have this community of learners and growers. It's not a competition. It is a collaboration. And so I love when you guys make suggestions for me on a video, or you suggest maybe you should do this, or you ask me why I do something, because that's helpful for all of us to learn. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Oh, fantastic. Another good time. That's okay. Sunday evening is good. All right. This is a good time. This is a good time. All right. Fantastic. Oh, watering and tending the chickens. We are still sitting in the garden enjoying the evening. Oh, it is nice. We love to come out here. I sit out here as frequently as I can. Babyface has joined us, but she's off camera. I don't know if she's been behind us on the video or not, but we love sitting out here. It's just nice to sit. Even if I'm not out in the garden, I want to be outside as much as I can. So, thank you. Yes, I definitely, the background is great for me. Sunday afternoon time is good. Fantastic. Remember to add the thumbs up. Yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah. Go ahead. If you're happy here, if you're happy, it, lift their thumb. So did I just sing on YouTube? No, tell me that didn't happen. So, thank you guys. I really appreciate it 100%. This has just been such a joy for me. Some upcoming videos to maybe tell you about that are on the plan is I have a banana after the freeze banana video that's taken a lot longer to produce because I've been testing cutting back the banana slowly. So that video is coming out, setting up the new Vigo, the new Birdie's bed. We're planting potatoes. I still got some seeds starting to do. I'll be starting some flower seeds this week. So it is really, there's a lot happening. Are there videos that, are there videos that you guys want to see for my particular zone or area that I haven't talked about making in the past? Make sure you let me know that in the comments as well. Let me go ahead and catch up on the rest of these comments and we'll start wrapping up here. Habitual Hobby says, I'm really sure you could probably grow mushrooms under that tree line. I probably could. The microclimate is very interesting back there, and I've talked about that a few times in other videos. But there is a Cataly guava right there. That is a Cataly guava that was relatively unscathed through the hard freezes that we had, and it's just under the tree line. And there's just, I should one day maybe I'll have to go out there and put the camera underneath it. But the plant is here, and if you look up, the tree canopy is just about like that. And in doing so, I think it created this microclimate there, whereas I have a Cataly guava over here that was just as unprotected, but it doesn't have the tree line over it. It's out in the middle, and it was bitten terribly by the cold weather. And so we talk about different yards, just different places in your yards. And that is, I don't know, 80 feet from each other. So Jane West, thank you so very much for that super thanks. That is very kind of you. Thank you. You are very welcome, Jay Butters too. Metal Hendrix, seed versus cloning. That's actually a great one. I actually do have a video. Another challenge I am doing this year, and I'll talk about it. We're going to do a challenge called Summer of Basil. We're going to grow some different kind of basils and taste test them for the kitchen. And they're not going to be your typical basils. But if you guys want to join in on that challenge and grow some different basils and have a taste test too, love to have you join us. So let's see what else we got here. And so very generous. Thank you very, very much. Very generous, Metal Hendrix. And let's see, I don't know the rules, but you may be able to start accumulating your own emojis for the channel. They're always cute on live streams to support the channel. Okay, I'll have to check out that as well. Karen says that it is 61 degrees here in central, western, north, New South Wales, right? NSW, Australia. I guess I didn't think it, I guess that's a nice temperature. That's not too terribly cold. It's not too terribly cold. Yes, Keely, I did say basil. We're going to do a hashtag Summer of Basil challenge. And I want to start those plants that's probably going to be about 2 weeks away before I start planting those up. And I'll tell you, this will be my last little story to tell you guys as I wrap up. We are always trying to grow enough basil for cooking. In American cooking, we use 5 or 6 leaves of basil unless we're trying to make some pesto. But in Asian cooking, basil is just this ingredient that's grown and are eaten in abundance. And so I can't seem to ever get ahead of the basil. And last year I started trying to grow basil and we got it up really nice and big and tasty. And it wasn't the right basil. I did not grow an Italian basil. I grew a Thai basil, but my family was like, this may say sweet Thai basil on the packet, but this is not the basil we use for making curry. And this is not the basil we use to go with pho. And so, so now we're in search of the right kind of basil. And so as part of that Summer of Basil challenge, I am cloning some basil. I am taking cuttings from the Asian grocery store along with the flavors and varieties that I'm growing. And so there'll be more about that in that video. So yeah, I would love for have everybody join in on a basil challenge. That would be fantastic. Well, my friends, this has been fantastic. Okay. Well, then you understand, right? So I'll be obsessed on this for a second. But the Thai basil that you run down and get at the Asian market does not taste the same as the one that's labeled Thai basil. And so, K Sawadee Ka, by the way. And so it is frustrating. And so we're just going to, we've ordered a bunch of different ones and we're going to grow them up and I'm going to let my wife taste them as Keely says, Mrs. Michelle, I'm going to let Mrs. Michelle taste them and let me know what it is that is the best one. And it might be that the Asian grocery store wins out and I just got to keep going down and buying some and continue to propagate it and clone it until I can have enough to sustain the meals here at Chateau in the Meadow. So, well, Sawadee Ka. That's right. Fantastic. Work in progress. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. I think I said hello to everybody and absolutely plant obsessed. I will tell you if any of them are the right ones. I absolutely will. Well, thank you all so much for joining me tonight, hanging out in the meadow with me. I am grateful for you. I am grateful for my first year on YouTube. I thank you for all the support of the channel. Thank you for the super thanks. That is just a little sweet tip to me that just makes my heart so happy. And I am just thrilled to be here with you. Yes. When you do give the channel a thumbs up, when you give a videos a thumbs up, it helps support the channel. But it also tells me, hey, I'm making content that you like. And that's the most important thing to me. I want to make content that I enjoy making that you also like. And so that's really while those are super helpful to me as a content creator. Yes, it helps the algorithm, but really it's about helping people. And so I heard somebody say this the other day. They said the algorithm did this or the algorithm did that. And no, it's not the algorithm, it's the humans. And so just replace the algorithm with humans. And if the algorithm's not working for you, it's because you didn't do something right for the humans. And so that's the story there. Um, Fantastic. Well, you are all very welcome. Kay says she sees a lot of basil for sale from Thai people on Facebook. Oh, you can send some for me. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much, Kay. I don't have my shipping address or anything set up uh, to publish that just yet. Let me figure that out. Uh, Let me figure out how that works. I see some other people do that. They have PO boxes and stuff, so I'll have to figure that part out. Thank you guys for being here with me on the live stream. Michael, I can't wait for you to be back in the meadow again soon. So nice, everyone, to be here with you. And of course, I always tell you to remember to wear that high quality sunscreen because last year they took something off my nose. And so now I try to remember to always put that on before I'm going to be out in the sun. Drink plenty of water and have a fantastic evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. And I wish you the very best. Happy gardening. And thank you for making my first year on YouTube so incredible and amazing. Good night, everybody.